What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE being upset at AEW over the Vince McMahon parody, major WrestleMania matches have been taped, Daniel Bryan is quarantining himself, WWE's Wall Street woes, Booker T's controversial comments, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story, as WWE is upset at AEW for parodying Vince McMahon. On last night's Dynamite, we saw the Exalted One Brody Lee in action for the first time as he decimated QT Marshall within a matter of minutes. He dropped a few hints of his past, such as looking as if he was setting up a Sister Abigail, a nod to Brother Wyatt. Before his match, Lee did a vignette where he was eating dinner with fellow Dark Order members Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Lee was wearing a suit, and no, that's not the only Vince McMahon reference, but at least just one similarity. Lee continuously told them they just don't get it, like they're the ones out of touch. But the biggest telling was when Reynolds sneezed in front of him, something Vince McMahon absolutely hates in real life, and kicked him out of the room. Dave Meltzer mentioned on the Wrestling Observer Radio that some in the WWE weren't happy at this parody. This is Vince McMahon, it's 100% Vince McMahon. It's Vince McMahon eating at Morton's Steakhouse, getting mad because he got to eat first. Getting mad at people sneezing? Yeah, there's a lot of people. Some people are very upset about this, believe it or not. I thought it was kind of funny though. Can Vince McMahon really get angry about this? Probably not, as remember when he fired shots with the Billionaire Ted segments at how WCW had old has-beens from the 80s like Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage? He was bitter about them leaving the WWE. Next up, major WrestleMania matches have been taped. As we mentioned in an earlier news video, spoilers for WrestleMania are already online, and while you won't find any here without a huge spoiler warning, it appears that WWE has already taped some major matches, with Bryan Alvarez reporting on the Wrestling Observer Radio that WrestleMania is taping right now, and the impression I have been given is that a lot of the big matches have already been taped. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be all done before this stay-at-home order begins. They're going to have everything done until the Raw after WrestleMania. While Bryan didn't mention which matches were filmed, it makes sense that WWE would get the major ones out of the way first. Next up, Daniel Bryan quarantining himself. The WWE will be wrapping up its tapings this week, but there's a long road ahead for WWE superstar Daniel Bryan. Bryan's wife Brie Bella recently discussed Daniel's health concerns during a podcast with sister Nikki, explaining the steps she and Daniel are taking to protect their family.
My husband has an autoimmune disease. He also fought asthma really bad when he was young. He was always sick when he was a kid, and I'll admit, I lost sleep last night. I was kind of like, I'm grateful my husband is still employed, but at the same time, I'm really scared that he's just out there. I'm just like, pray like so much for him that he stays healthy and all that, but it's like this weird tug of war, right?
In addition to Daniel's health concerns, he has to be careful due to Brie's pregnancy as well as their young child being back home. According to Brie, Daniel will be tested for the current disease affecting so much of society. She mentioned further,
I know, and I feel bad
scary
because he's over there, and when he comes home, we're gonna have him be put up in a hotel, and our naturopath, Dr. Jane, he's amazing. He's gonna kind of work with Bryan to see if we see symptoms before he comes home to Bert and I. That could be weeks. And when he left yesterday or day before, I was just like, it could be 3 weeks till I see you. And it's just sad, but thank goodness for technology, FaceTime and all of that.
One interesting takeaway is that Bryan is apparently being tested at a time when testing kits are reportedly in short supply. Is it possible there are WWE superstars who may have tested positive? If not, why is Bryan being tested, and do you think this is fair to the people who are showing disease symptoms but are denied access to testing kits due to their scarcity? Let us know your comments down below. Next up, the WWE's Wall Street woes. Things continue to look bad for the WWE, with the corporation stock dropping nearly 8% today. As you likely recall, the WWE stock is down 40% from its December 2019 value, and a report from Yahoo Finance suggests shareholders may have cause for more concern. McMahon, the 74-year-old chairman and CEO of WWE, is now looking to free up funds without relinquishing his control over the wrestling empire. On Tuesday, the company disclosed that McMahon entered into a prepaid variable forward contract, which essentially functions as a cash advance from a bank. The way it works is McMahon agrees to eventually sell some of his shares at some future date, March 2024, in this case, receiving the money now, but without having to actually turn over the stock or pay taxes on the sale yet. The move hasn't been received well by some, as it means Vince gets cash in hand while still retaining the stock. PW Insider's Dave Shearer is reporting, on a day when the overall market is booming, and man isn't that nice to see for a change, the WWE stock is currently down $3.08, down 7.89%. The move has also fueled rumors that McMahon may sell the WWE. Yahoo Finance explained why the WWE could be an attractive asset. It holds a ton of valuable intellectual property in its characters and storylines, which in theory leaves open a realm of possibilities for a buyer with Disney-like ingenuity, building on WWE the way Disney has with the Marvel comic books. Likewise, WWE might appeal to those looking to invest more in sports, as Fox Corp has stated it's doing. Media companies are also paying big sums for content with which to stock their new streaming services, such as the Peacock app being introduced next month by Comcast Corp's NBC Universal. It's unlikely fans would see any move by McMahon given the current global financial turmoil due to the ongoing health crisis. However, once things settle down, the wrestling world could see one of the biggest moments in its history if a media conglomerate purchases the WWE. In the meantime, Ringside News reports the WWE issued the following statement to Yahoo Finance. Mr. McMahon has informed us that he intends to continue his capacity as the company's chairman and chief executive officer for the foreseeable future. Do you think Vince McMahon will sell the WWE, or is he going to wait until he does the job to the Grim Reaper, leaving the task to his heirs? Next up, Samoa Joe returning. Samoa Joe's 30-day suspension for violating the WWE's wellness policy is over, which means he may show up on Raw or at WrestleMania. With rumors flying the WWE may have more matches in store for WrestleMania, we could see the return of the Samoan submission machine. Next up, who was to blame for the Stardust character? Stardust is best remembered as the character that epitomized Cody Rhodes' problems with the WWE, eventually leading him to leaving the promotion. Rhodes' efforts at rebranding himself on the indie circuit ultimately led to his current role in All Elite Wrestling. Recently, TalkSport's Alex McCarthy tweeted an interesting reminder of just how long Cody played Stardust. Sometimes I think WWE had Cody Rhodes portray Stardust for 2 years. Like, that's a lot to think about. What were they actually thinking? Even after a year, they could have done a whole Cody Rhodes reborn type of angle. It's hard to rationalize how they wasted him. What was even more interesting was Cody Rhodes' response. Not pushing Stardust wasn't the crime. The character had broke me and I was a subpar performer under the paint during that period. The crime was not capitalizing on 2010-2012 where I was cooking with gas and my live event work was top level consistent. In the end, blame is on me. It's refreshing to see a wrestler taking responsibility for their own shortcomings in the WWE, as opposed to someone like Ryback whose current full-time job is bashing the WWE. Next up, Sami Zayn talks his new role in WWE. Current Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn has been on the sidelines for so long that some fans forgot he's more than just a manager, he's also a damn good talented wrestler. Appearing on the bump, Zayn talked about his faction with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, aka the Artist Collective. I think there is a sense with some fans that despite our level of talent and despite our level or artistry that we've kind of been cast aside a little bit, or even that we haven't realized our full potential even though Shinsuke has done very well I think. There's something to that as well. I think that's another thing that unifies us a little bit because we're these three guys that can really go and we're just being packaged in a different way. Sometimes a faction can jumpstart a group of wrestlers' careers and then there are factions such as 3MB. Do you think the Artist Collective will thrive together or fail together? And finally, Booker T's controversial comments. While WWE Backstage doesn't have many viewers, those who tune in get to hear two-time WWE Hall of Famer Booker T share his thoughts on the grappling game. Prior to WWE's Backstage hiatus, Booker remarked the WWE Women's Division needed to create more stars. Booker followed up on this during his podcast.
There's a vast difference as far as what wrestling is and what it was. I made perhaps a controversial statement on WWE Backstage before everything was suspended, and that was, man, we got an abundance, a plethora of really good women wrestlers, but we need stars more than we need wrestlers.
While it's often been said the name on the marquee is wrestling, the truth is that WWE is focused around sports entertainment. While the promotion has arguably the greatest collection of talented wrestlers in the promotion's history, can you think of a star like Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, The Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, or The Rock currently working on the roster? Other than The Undertaker, the last holdout from the days of megastars. Booker T is correct in saying the women's division needs stars more than talented wrestlers, but his statement applies to the men's division too. If the WWE wants to grow its audience, it needs to create megastars. As we pointed out before, the WWE seems reluctant to let megastars grow because they're afraid they'll leave the WWE for Hollywood or they'll become difficult to work with. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.